Hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for the Vaal in Vereeniging on the 21st of December. And this is the WSP Grand Heritage race meeting. When the Vaal comes alive, it's their biggest race meeting of the year. Just a reminder that we are chatting to Alistair Cohen, as we always do for the Highveld race meetings, but for this show we are recording it much earlier than we usually do, so keep an eye on the scratchings, declarations, etc. that won't be mentioned on the show. And what is on offer at the Vaal? It is a wonderful race meeting to attend. I've been for it a few times, and I don't know if it is the same when it comes to atmosphere in years gone by or things have changed, but definitely when I used to be there some time back, it used to be a wonderful meeting to attend. 12:15 will be the start of race number 1, and we have 9 races on the card. And what's worth noting is Jackpot 1, which begins in race number 5 at 14.35, has a sweetener, a carryover of 250,000 Rand, and that is a bet that's worth going for. The estimated pool there is $1 million, and judging by the size of the field for the Grand Heritage, the consolation race, I think we're going to get plus when it comes to that jackpot pool of $1 million. Okay, Alistair Cohen is holding on the line as he always does. 12:15 race number 1 over 1,200 meters. Wonderful race day, Alistair. I haven't been in years recent, but back in the day it used to be wonderful to attend.
Oh, geez, it is a great race day. I haven't been to my fair share of World Sports Betting Grand Heritages for a while either. I was stuck in Dubai for a couple of years, so I haven't done a Grand Heritage for a while. But it is the Vaal's marquee race day. It does come alive. It used to be run at the end of spring, the Grand Heritage, and now it's moved to its slot right now in late in the year. It's a very, very tricky race to call for obvious reasons. This year we're down to 22 runners. There are 2 scratchings in the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage. It's not an easy race to call. They're generally split into 2 groups. You don't have much of a clue as far as perception is concerned which group is ahead of the others. There was a Grand Heritage, I'd say about 8 years ago, well before COVID, that I called, and the fields were through the roof. I think every race had over 20 runners. And I had the blessing of calling them all. I turned off my phone. I knew exactly what I was in for. I couldn't be distracted by anybody and everything that was going on, and actually went according to plan. But yeah, it's a great race day. It's a lot of fun. That's obviously the main objective just before Christmas, and I hope we have a lot of fun with this jackpot. That's obviously my suggested bet. I like to chase the big carrots, and expect the track to come up a little bit soft as well. There's a bit of rain forecast for Joburg coming up, quite a bit expected before this meeting on Saturday, so whether that factors into how the races are run, we'll find out soon enough.
Okay, let's get straight into it, Alistair. Race number 1, 12:15, doesn't form part of any of the exotics. It's over 1,200 meters. And we bring up the field and have a look at the betting. Number 1, Quokka Blitz is at 11-2. 2, Vibe SA at 18-10. We then have a first-timer called Crescendo, number 7 at 33-10. And number 8, Cronus, is a 2-1 shot. How do we get things off? Can we make some cash in race number 1?
Well, you say the name Vibe SA as if you're giving a warning. This horse has been beaten at prohibitive odds so many times. We discussed it when he ran 14 days earlier. And again, last time at 7-10, he couldn't do the job when Can You Dance, who I tipped on the show, managed to come out on top. It's a 3rd one after a break, but I always believe he's opposable. I think number 8, Cronus, stands out. Richard Fourie is obviously from these parts, from the Vaal. Last time Cronus ran 3 parts of a length behind Vibe SA, and you'd anticipate that with likely improvement and natural improvement to come, that Cronus could very easily turn that form around with a horse that's just stuck in the maidens. He's become the epitome of a professional maiden, has number 2 Vibe SA. So I think number 8 Cronus can turn that form around. Number 7 Crescendo, watch the market on him. They're drawn on complete opposite sides, and it's open gates at the Vaal and World Sports Betting Grand Heritage Day, so you're really going to have to watch the first race closely as to where the going is. But number 7, Crescendo, is a well-bred son of what a winter bred by Lammerspraal Cantabella. Has been a very, very successful mare, but you would also argue, being by Galileo, that number 7, Crescendo, might be looking for a little bit further. But he remains of interest. Number 10, Page Boy, I think will improve, but will he improve enough to beat his stable companion? I doubt it. So in order to make money, number 8, Cronus, is your leader. It's the horse that I think you've got to include naturally in the opener. I think he'll win the race with just watch the market with number 7, Crescendo. He could enter calculations. If there is no interest about him, then number 2, Vibe SA, should be in the top 3 at worst.
Okay, that's race number 1. And we start off the exotics in race number 2. It is the start of the Bipod 1250. It's over 1,200 meters, a maiden plate for fillies and mares. We bring up the field and have a look at the betting. Number 3, Pretty Precious, is at 5-2. We got horse number 9 here, Flight of a Condor, at 5-1, with Trent Mayu claiming 1.5 kgs. I really like that debut run on the 19th of October. Then number 12, Give Me a Storm. That's Gavin Larena. What form Gavin Larena is in. Superb. Tops the jockey logs now. And it may not have been by design that he wanted to go for the championship, but the position that he finds himself in, I think it's a no-brainer. Number 13, Green Extreme, is at 9-2, and it's double figures the balance. What did you make of Diane Stinger's daughter of Vaal when she debuted?
Big chance. Should take a big step forward here. Trent Mayhew is on board. You know, when I looked at this race, and I the first 2 pages of the computer form take you to 1 through to 7, and I thought, oh, this is not a very pretty race. But then lower down with all the first timers, there's a lot more excitement that you can take out of it. And number 9, Flight of a Condor, from the first run. The subsequent winner was Montana Lights, who ran 3rd in the race behind Predatrice, therefore a length behind Flight of a Condor. So that all works out nicely. Yes, everything else in the race is still a maiden, but with that said, it's definitely not the Stinger way to ready them up first time out. And I'd anticipate that number 9, Flight of a Condor, will make the necessary improvement and go very, very close to winning. Number 10, Give Me a Storm, is also a horse that makes appeal. Ran in a Work Riders first up. We know that those form lines generally don't work out to be all that strong. Tony Peters put Gavin Larena on board outside draw. If that's where the highway is going to be at the Vaal on Grand Heritage Day, then that could be important and noteworthy. I think that number 12, Give Me a Storm, also has a little bit of scope to improve. Whether it's enough to win out of a Work Riders, that remains to be seen, but I'd keep safe of that one. And just having a look at this Azzy first timer by Futura, Future Success, I think that this horse might be a horse to keep a very, very close eye on as far as all the first timers are concerned. This is a half sister to Andy's Girl, who's now a feature race winner, also trained by the Azzies. And I reckon that there might be a little bit to come from number 11, Future Success. If it's not a little bit too sharp, then she could very easily get into the top 3. But in order of preference, I'll be going with 9, Flight of a Condor, over 12, Give Me a Storm, and then I'd bracket number 3, Pretty Precious, and the first timer, number 11, Future Success, in behind. As far as the Terry first timers are concerned, Blight Light, the mare return flight, went 1.5 miles. I think that the 1,200 meters might just catch her out first time. If she ran on strongly for a top 4, that would be a big step in the right direction. And likewise, number 14, Trail Runner, I think she'll also be looking for a touch further than this.
Yeah, you know, when you have a look at the sales figures at the end of any sale, the median for the Drakenstein stud horses is, on the top of the log, and around 70,000 rand at this purchase, number 11. That's what grabbed my attention. Could be a nice filly and may turn out to be a steal. 11, Future Success. I think a good find there from Alistair. Keep an eye on the betting, currently in double figures. If there's any follow through, one worth including in the Bipod, which is race number 2. Place Accumulator begins in race number 3 of 1,200 meters. This is a graduation plate for fillies and mares, and when we have these condition races, we often refer to the best weighted column. I'll read that out to you, Alistair, before we touch on the field. It's topped by number 3, that is Garlands of Greenery, at a 99, number 3. Number 2, Social Supreme, at a 92. And then we got horses in the 80s. Number 4, which is Bosom Buddy, at 89. And 85 to number 5, which is Valivia. So that is the best weighted column. The field, number 2, Sources Supreme at 7-1. Yeah, Gardens of Greenery, no surprise, the source is in the red at 7-10. And then we got number 4, Bosom Buddy at 2-1. I just want to give a comment on Sources Supreme. The first start, James Crawford was adamant that the filly will need the run, but whatever the result, he said that run will bring her on. Yeah, he's put up some wonderful videos on the chat group about her and how she's come on, and he knows that it looks hard to beat number 5, Garlands of Greenery, but he suggested that she will run much better in the smaller field, and she could be included if you're playing wide in the exotic. So he does give her a place chance here in the small field of 6 runners. But everything does point to one horse, and I think the key, Alistair, is if you pull out that form line, you'll see White Pearl came out to win the MDK Ipitombi.
Yeah, spot on, D's. I mean, she's 7-10 and 7-10 for a reason. As far as the bottom place accumulator is concerned, I don't think she can possibly miss. In fact, I'll go down the avenue and say that 7-10 is a good price, because I think that number 3, Garlands of Greenery, will win here, D's. It's no mean feat coming back from an 11-month layoff, stepping out in feature race company and group company and making the impression that she did. You spot on. The 1 from 1 in the form line is White Pearl, who's now a grade 2 winner, was expertly guided by Pierre Stratham on Monday in the Mike de Kock Ipitombi Challenge, but that's how well that form has already worked out. She showed her mettle in the 3 Trakers, which is now the Mother Russia Stakes at the start of the year, running 5 lengths to Let's Go Now. I think she's probably found a happy place as far as racing is concerned. The fact that she's back so quickly obviously means that Alec Laird is happy with how she's pulled up. These, I think she'll win. I make her the bet of the weekend. Race 3, number 3, Garlands of Greenery. Bankers and all bets. If you're looking to just sort of escalate your all-to-comes as you go along the weekend, then she's in them all.
Yeah, whatever time you're listening into this preview show, include number 3, Garlands of Greenery, in all your all-to-comes, wherever you're playing over the weekend, be it in KZN, maybe even you're listening to this on a Friday, you could play some doubles into Hollywoodbets Greyville Night Racing or at Fairview in Gqeberha. So we move along to the Pick 6, race number 4, maiden plate over 2,400 meters. This is how they're betting. Number 2 at 6-1, that's Moment. And number 3, which is the Merciful, at even money. Number 4, Mishra at 7-2. Horse number 5, Santiago's Pride, is at 22-10. It's double figures, the balance. I just want to give the guys some information. I don't know if they've had a look at the form guides, etc. But Santiago's Pride is carded to race on Friday night at Hollywoodbets Greyville in race number 2. And priced up at 5-10 in that race. And then carded to race on Saturday. So I don't know what's the story there, Alistair, on what's going to happen. But that is the situation with number 5, Santiago's Pride. Pick 6, how you read the race?
Well, at the time of recording, we have to treat Santiago's Pride as a runner. That is obviously the danger that we run into this time of year when a lot of shows need to be recorded ahead of time. If Santiago's Pride does run at the Vaal and doesn't go to Hollywoodbets Greyville on Friday night, then he's an automatic inclusion. D's, I'm a little bit uneasy about this race because the key horse for me is undoubtedly number 3, the Merciful. And when I say the key horse, I don't know whether it's a key horse for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons. A 16-start maiden and a horse that's run in the races that he has is a horse that I ordinarily like to take on. But I have a belief that Mishra is a chance under Gavin Larena. But with that said, the Merciful and Mishra have met each other 3 times, and it's 3-0 to the Merciful. So why is that suddenly going to turn around? But why am I suddenly going to take a chance on a 16-start maiden by Coup de Gras, who's, like I said, run with some very ordinary opposition? So I think what we come down to is if Santiago's Pride does run at the Vaal on Saturday, then he's the right one. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to default to number 3, the Merciful. Just going towards number 2, Moment, that's another horse that you can't be overly confident about, a 14-start maiden. Since his break, which I'm sure he needed, if you have a look at those 8 runs that are shown in the computer form before the break, he ran twice in June, 3 times in July, and 3 times in August. So that's 8 starts in the space of 2.5 months. That's a lot of racing, and you can see that long mileage probably just took the edge off him, and the breaks brought him along. But also his form lines are just not strong enough to be too confident about. So it's a very trappy opening leg of the pick 6. These lightly raced horses don't make too much appeal themselves. I'd motivate the number 6 Aftershock could represent a little bit of value. Caden Brewer takes a ride for Wayo Maui. At least off a light weight, she is a little bit more open to improve. We know that Wayo can step them up in distance. She goes 2,400 meters for the first time. So this is what I'm going to recommend. If Santiago's Pride runs, he's my top choice. If he doesn't, I'll have an each way bet on number 6 Aftershock. But as far as the pick 6 is concerned, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yo, Alistair Cohen has put us on edge now, race number 4. He's given us the pros and cons for number 3, Merciful. You're going to have to be the judge after those comments. He's given you everything you need to know with regards to form lines, etc. So, what are you doing in leg 1 of the pick 6? He's given his views. Now you're going to have to just jot down those numbers on that tab form for leg 1 of that pick 6, which begins at 1400 hours. But he's already declared his bet for the show, and he's going with the sweetener. The carryover of 250,000 Rand comes up in race number 5, jackpot 1. Estimated pool, R1 million. And I will suggest and mention on the show that R1 million is going to be passed in a big way, considering the size of the fields, the nature of the race meeting, and of course it's the Grand Heritage and the Consolation. You need to get on by 14:35. This is a jackpot you want to play. 2,000 meters, Pinnacle Stakes is where we kick things off. Number 1, Son of Raj, 11-2. Number 2, Good Counsel, fluent winner last time out, looked the right race for him. Generous odds, carrying 52 kgs, 18-10. Number 3, Tani Player, is now 3-1. Number 4, Red Maple. Well, she is very useful on a day, but she is not reliable. She's got Serena Moodley plus a half kg, 3-1. Then we go on to nothing else. Those are the runners in single figures. Best weighted column is clearly topped by number 5, Red Maple, Alistair at 123, followed by number 2, Good Counsel at 120. 119 is number 1, Son of Raj. 118, joint number 3, Tani Player, and number 4, Second Base. The more I have a look at this field, the more I don't want to go out in the jackpot, so I'm going to suggest maybe the field here. But you can narrow things down if you go with recent form.
Yeah, D's, I'm pretty happy. I'm comfortable going with 3 horses in this race. They're numbers 2, 3, and 5. I want to start with number 5, Red Maple. You made note to the fact that she's top of the best weighted column. You also made note to the fact that she's not the most reliable around. On a going day, she's deadly, and when she downs tools, she's absolutely awful. But the key is, in the Betway Summer Cup Consolation, on the 30th of November, Red Maple drifted as if she wasn't wanted in the market from 16-1 to 66-1. However, she finished 2 3/4 lengths behind Good Counsel, and she finished a quarter of a length behind Tani Player. She's 3 kilos better off with Tani Player, and she is 4.5 kilos better off with Good Counsel. She comes into the conversation here big time, D's, and I think that she can very easily come back to winning ways, and I'm going to motivate her as my top selection. Could I have a bet on number 5, Red Maple? No, but like I said, on a going day, she will be a very, very hard mare to stock. She's probably been found the right field. Just because of the nature of the beast that we're dealing with Red Maple, she'll never go in as a pick 6 or jackpot banker. So number 2, Good Counsel, and 3, Tani Player are backups. It's a very interesting race because we've got Son of Raj, the former Derby winner. I don't believe he's the same horse as when he won the Derby, but because of his inflated rating of 119 and the conditions of the race, he gives chunks of weight to everyone else. Therefore, more than half the field are well under sufferance, or about half the field are well under sufferance, so they should have no right in winning the race, and that does give Good Counsel and Tani Player with their 52 kilos on the back a legitimate chance. Tani Player 2 from 2 at the Vaal, that's something that you've got to take note of. The blinkers go back on on. I don't think he ran badly without blinkers last time by any stretch of the imagination, but he's always a dangerous horse. And then Good Counsel, I thought won easier than the margin suggested in the consolation last time out, and just simply according to the eye, that's a horse that you got to include, just because, like I said, we're dealing with the nature of number 5 Red Maple. It's for her, it's duck or no dinner.
Yeah, I think Alistair could be onto something. Yeah, low weight, a nice 1,000 meters as you turn into the straight. She's had enough times to warm up, as she always does, coming from the back end of the field. It could be ideal for a number 5 Red Maple. That's going to be the top choice, but he does have back up there with number 2 Good Counsel and number 3 Thani Player. Then we go on to a middle stakes over 1,100 meters, which is race number 6. Bring up the field. Number 2, Swing Upon a Star, is trading at 5-2. Horse number 3, One Fell Scoop, is at 7-1. Number 4, Passage of Power, at 7-2. As I say, race number 6, where's the field? Number 5, King of Venus, is at 28-10, and it's double figures the balance. So race number 6, Alistair, what's the number of runners here? We got 9 runners that go to post. How many horses leg 2 of the jackpot?
5 in the jackpot, D's, but I'm telling you, we're going to make money here in this race. I'm taking a swinger, one with a horse who's at the bottom of the boards. I want to start with Tchaikovsky. Any price. Jared Penny takes her out for Quibbersrue, 50 kilos on his back. The last time he ran over this course and distance with 50 kilos on his back, he ran 2 1/4 lengths to Dice. Where would Dice run in this race? Dice would win by a furlong, in my opinion. Now, Tchaikovsky mixes his form. I believe he's better at the Vaal. I know he ran at the Vaal last time, but he had blinkers on last time. The blinkers come off. There's a lot of value in this horse, number 8, Tchaikovsky. He's going to make us money in this race. If he doesn't win, I believe he's going to go very, very close indeed. Don't let him run loose. He's 25-1. He should never be a 25-1 shot. My swinger with Tchaikovsky is number 1, Dreamland. He was highly expected to go well on Gold Cup Day at Hollywoodbets Greyville in the Mgeni handicap, but he ran into all sorts of traffic. That was where draw 1 became a curse rather than a blessing. He needed his last run. He completely blew off the cobwebs. He didn't run a good race, to be fair. There's no other way to sugarcoat that, but he's a lot better than that. He's an accomplished sprinter. I know what Lucky Hoodalakis thinks of the son of Lancaster Bomber, and if he does bounce back and show his best, he can definitely win this race. So that's what I'm going to recommend. That's your play in race 6, swingers numbers 1 and 8. Are they past the post? Absolutely not. Number 2, Swing Upon a Star, hasn't won in a while, but he was just caught out late by Raven Black. Raven Black, I'd like to believe, is a division above these horses. That makes an argument for him. Number 4, Passage of Power, I think is alive. His last win was very appealing. Rachel Venick is back on board. Carried 63 minus 1.5 last time. Now carries 54 minus 1.5. Passage of Power is obviously up in class, but I think he's up in confidence as well. So he could be neatly placed by Fabian Haber. And then number 5, King of Venus, has got the habit of hanging inwards over the closing stages, but he's in good hearts at the moment as well, and it's hard to write off his chances. So 1, 2, 4, 5, and 8, but I love the value about number 8, Tchaikovsky. I think this is a very shrewd move, and I'd like to believe that he'll run into the top 3 at worst. He's in everything in my play.
Well, that is it. That's what we like. A big value about number 8, Tchaikovsky, in race number 6. Alistair Cohen's each way play here, and that could be the result that you're looking for in the jackpot, the carryover jackpot. Then we go on to the main event, the top liner, the WSB Grand Heritage, over a distance of 1,475 meters. This year, with 2 scratchings in the field thus far, so it's a field of 22 at the time of recording. I'm just going to go through the betting here, Alistair, and you'll see it's very thin on the top. Number 12, Captain of the Green, at 7-2. 13, Pomodoro's Jet, is at 7-1. And that is it. Can you believe it? The balance are all double figures. So if you're not in the camp of these horses on top, lots of value to be had, and that just tells you that this is going to be a quartet to catch. I'm just going to give you some comments about number 12, Captain of the Green. Well, my opinion is it's not the ideal race for him, but we know that Fabian Habib and the connections, they enjoy a lot of success at the Vaal. It's their happy hunting ground, and it'll be really nice for them to win the biggest race in Vereniging for a stable that's done so well at that centre. They support that centre on a weekly basis. Lots of winners come from the Vaal. In fact, most of their winners come from the Vaal. So they think that they have the best horse in the race after his fluent win last time out, and how he's come back after, all the issues that he's had to win 3 in a row. He's a talented horse. Personally, I think Alistair, he's capable of achieving much higher than his rating of 96. But when you got 22 horses thundering down the straight at the Vaal, you need a lot of luck to go your way. And if he wins, well, so be it. If he gets beat, I'm not going to say that's his form, because this is a very tricky race. All the best to the guys. They'd like to win this race with a horse that's done them so well thus far. So this is their main horse that they could aim at this race from what they have, and they want to win it.
Yeah, Dees, and good luck to the person tipping this race as well. Look, there are a few angles for this race. The first thing I want to mention is welcome back to Ryan Munger. He rides Joker Man, so great to have him back from Canada for a few months. Now, this is what I look for in the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage, and just also a disclaimer applies: this is no science, this is just a personal preference. I like to find horses either drawn on the far inside or far outside, because the middle is not where you want to be, and that is made a little bit more clear as the meeting goes on as to which side is going to be favoured. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, with rain expected to be around, that could be exacerbated. At the time of recording, I have absolutely no idea which side is going to be preferred because of the open gates, but there is going to be either a bias towards the inside or the outside of that, I'm pretty sure about. The next thing that I like to look at, D's, is horses that are grizzled in these big fields down the Vaal Straight. That is a key. Horses that can run in big crowds and big packs and big herds, that are able to beat those types of rivals, and therefore horses that are running in the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage, that enjoy the Vaal Straight. So I've got a lot of numbers in the jackpot. I mean, you need a lot of numbers. For me to sit here and say that horse A is an absolute good thing would be stupid of me, because you're just going to open yourself up. Just for a bit of clarity, in order of preference, I like 14 Radicho from 12 Captain of the Green, and then 2 horses at big prices who should never be the prices they are: 4 Fire and Flames and number 6 Argo Valley. But I've got more horses in the pick 6. I'm not going to give you the reasons why, because this will be a record-breaking show as far as time is concerned. Number 2, Savannah Storm. Pierre Stratum takes her out for Philip and Monique Vermeulen. I've put him in because Stratum's on board and because he won his last start, and I think the Africa House has a prayer. If you like the Africa House, that Savannah Storm has to go in. 3 Guy Gibson is better than all these horses on his day. He's knocking on the door. He's been running at sort of graduation level with credits. He hasn't quite got across the line for a while, but he's good enough too. 4 Fire and Flames, complete wrong price. I know that you can draw a line through the runs of Dave the King and the Specialist in that Pinnacle Stakes on Betway Summer Cup Day, but he's got a record down the straight. Dennis Schwarz takes her out for Cobus Roo. The middle draw I don't like, but at least he comes in here with a win under the belt. Number 6, Argo Valley. This is my value play of the race. He's trading at a price of around 20 to 1. 3 starts ago, he beat Pomodoro's Jet in a race of similar standing. He's got a draw also towards the middle outside. Raymond Danielson gets on well with him. I thought his last race was a touch underwhelming, but I'd also like to believe that he's better than that last run. Number 6, Argo Valley. I think he'll run into the top 4 at a price. 12 Captain the Green, his last win was very good on Betway Summer Cup Day. He made a lot of people happy. Richard Farid comes to town to ride the horse. He beat Salute the Flag, who runs in a novice handicap just a few days later, where he's got to be a big runner. He comes in the best form of his life. His story is well documented, that he's lucky to be alive, but he's turned the corner under Fabian Habib, and there's absolutely no reason why I can turn around and say that a horse looking for 4 wins in a row is suddenly going to lose that winning streak. 13 Pomodoro's Jet has had no luck with draws. When he was drawn towards the outside, they were all winning on the inside, and when he was drawn on the inside, everyone was winning on the outside. Now he's drawn pretty much middle inside. Who knows whether that's a good thing, but he looks like he's been set up with this race in mind. 13 Pomodoro's Jet. 14 Radicho turned up in the Halfveld, won a very good race beating the Africa House. He can only step forward with that run. If the outside going plays true, then number 14 Radicho could be the one they will need to beat. I respect Gavin Lorena's choice on 15 Richard the First, so he goes in. And number 19 the Africa House, although another horse who doesn't win with great regularity, at least he's come back to life of late. Number 19 the Africa House, he was a very good 2-year-old, and you cannot possibly leave him out. So 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. But just to repeat, my top choice, 14 Radicio from 12 Captain of the Green, and then 4 and 6 between those two to make a little bit of money as far as the quartets are concerned.
Okay, if you want to include 2 roving bankers with the field, maybe Alistair Cohen's top 2, 12 and 14, with all the numbers that he's given you, and we'll see some of those numbers that he has mentioned in Jackpot 1, which is the penultimate leg, that is race number 7. Okay, race number 8, the consolation race to the Heritage, obviously over the same distance of 1,475 meters, and this is how they are betting here. We got number 5, Confederate, who is turning out to be a classy individual, with Richard Ferree up at 22 to 10, and then Count Invicto, who is now 3 kgs worse off at the weights, with a Confederate. Number 7 is at 5 to 2. Number 12 is the latest scratching, and it's double figures the balance. So are we going with these 2 horses that matched each other last time out to close off the jackpot? Are we looking for cover with a few others?
No, I've got 2 horses in and only one of the horses in the market. I think 5 Confederates are a hard horse to beat. Dees, he went down the straight last time at the Vaal. He beat Sutherland. By a length, Sutherland was returning from a long layoff. That's one thing to bear in mind. But it was his first run after a gelding. He drifted in the market, and I think he caught everyone out by surprise. He's a well above average horse, number 5 Confederate. He's got the looks, and at the moment he's in form, so I think that he'll be a hard horse to beat. But don't leave out number 3, Jury's Out, guys. Penultimate start to Greeting My Master. Greeting My Master went on and won the Betway Victory Moon Stakes, and then last time out lost a shoe at the start, and he ran nicely enough. I know Candice was sort of debating whether to go for the Grand Heritage, but there was no jockey available, and Gavin had committed to ride Jury's Out if he didn't get into the Grand Heritage. So that's what swayed going into this consolation race. He likes the Vaal Straight as well. He's won over 1,400 meters down the Vaal Straight, beating Master Christmas, who's in the market a race earlier. He's run with better horses than this, or more established horses than this. He's a big chance, number 3, Jury's Out. So 3 and 5 for me in the final leg of Jackpot 1Ds. More than half the field are under sufferance. Scratching at number 12, Whirly. I don't know if that makes the race any harder or any easier. I suppose 7 Counts and Victor comes into the conversation, but that handy running style, I don't know if that serves him well down the Vaal Straight. He ran nicely last time to Confederate. I know he's got a beneficial swing at the weights, but I don't know if it's enough. So that's my line of thinking here.
Okay, that's how we close off Jackpot 1, and then we end things off in race number 9 over 1,800 meters. It's a C Division class, merit-rated 78 handicap, and this is the way they're betting. Number 3, Copper Mist, is at 5 to 1. 4, Diwali Rocket is at 5 to 1. We won't forget this one, Alistair. Number 5, Dark Silver, is at 22 to 10. Number 7, One More Star, is at 7 to 2. 8, Alexander at 7 to 1, and 10, Robert Browning is at 7 to 1. Yeah, last time out, it was all the stars were aligned. It was Diwali, and that is what happened at a good price. But this race, if you're running in the pick 6 here, Alistair, you need to sit tight with whatever numbers you've got.
There are too many horses on my radar here, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to be able to narrow this down. So only 3 runners, funny enough. Numbers 3, Copper Mist, 4, Diwali Rocket, and 7, One More Star. Let's start with number 7, One More Star. I think he's progressive. He beat Pioneer Square last time. I know Pioneer Square was a trifle disappointing a week ago and still a maiden, but he'll get out the maidens. He'll win his races. This is a half brother to Mel Moose's One More Star. Steps up in distance. That's going to do him a world of good. Gets Richard Ferree on board. I like the way that Terry's horses are starting to find their stride now. So I'm going to lead with him just because I think he's got a little bit more progress to come. 3, Copper Mist. Very disappointing, underachiever, the son of Master of my fate, but I do think he's got the ability. He's clearly been freshened up, 63 days off the racetrack. He too has run with horses that are a little bit better than this. He might have found the right type of race. His ratings come down to the 79, which was unthinkable while he was rated in the mid-80s. I thought he'd go in the other direction. Got a lot of time from him, and I think he'll run a big race. And number 4, Diwali Rocket, because he did us such a favour on Allard Steel Road on a Mission Mile Day when winning at 16 to 1 in a race that was a lot more shallow than this. Got a £6 penalty for the win, but that's probably warranted. He's looking like he's coming along the right way and going in the right direction, so I give him a winning chance. So in the pick 6, although a lot of people will like to hang tight and probably go as wide as they can, I'm happy to narrow it down to 3 here, Dees.
Okay, 3 runners that Alistair has given you there to close things off in race number 9. Let's go to that suggested bet, which is the carryover jackpot, 250,000 Rand, and it begins in race number 4. It's up on screen, Alistair.
Yep, here we go. 25 to 3 is when it gets underway. Jackpot 1, target R1,000,000, as we mentioned. 2, 3, and 5 in the first leg. Good Counsel, Dunny Player, and Red Maple by 1, 2, 4, 5, and 8. Dreamland, Swing Upon a Star, Passage of Power, King of Venus, and my money maker, I like Tchaikovsky there. By a lot of horses in the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage, but there's no one who's going to be bankering anything there. 2, Savannah Storm, 3, Guy Gibson, 4, Fire and Flames, got 6, Argo Alley, 12, Captain of the Green, 13, Pomodoro's Jet, 14, Radice, 15, Richard the First, and 19, the Africa House, and then 3 and 5 to finish off Jury's House and Confederates, and that's only a 270 Rand burn, so a bit of wiggle room for all those that might want to catch, who might want to include a few others.
Okay, Alistair, to close things off, there's lots of shows that we do together, but I don't know if I will be, partnered with you to do any of the shows before Christmas. So I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of Gallop TV and myself to thank you for your tireless effort during the course of the year with these previews. I know it's valuable time that you take off, but you love doing it. And on behalf of the racing fans and Gallop TV, to wish yourself and Candice and your families all the best over Christmas if I don't get to chat to you. And thank you for the big effort that you put in 2024.
Yeah, please, thank you so much. And I think those sentiments are very well and truly echoed back to you and to all the racing fans. I mean, it is a community, whether it's breeders, owners, jockeys, trainers, grooms, punters, or just good old racing fans who enjoy watching the game. You all make that wheel turn, and it's always a pleasure teaming up with you and the rest of the team. You mentioned that it's time out of a very busy day, but I absolutely love doing these previews, and they keep your eye in, they keep you interested, and I just love getting around, getting all the information, hearing the whispers, whether it's here or whether it's Joburg or whether it's Cape Town, obviously heading back to Joburg straight after this recording. So looking forward to spending a bit of time getting a little bit more info, and to all those racing fans, maybe you finish 2024 strong. Have a wonderful festive season to you and the rest of the family, D's, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, thanks to Alistair Cohen as we bid him a farewell, and to you, the valued racing fan. Well, if I don't chat to you or do any of these preview shows before Christmas, I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the entire team. It's a big team at Gallop TV to wish you all the best over the festive season. Bring in Christmas safely. Have a wonderful time with yourself, your family, and your friends. And until we meet again, have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day if you're playing on Saturday the 21st of December in Vereeniging at the Vaal. It's the WSB Grand Heritage. Big payouts expected on the day considering the size of the field, and the main event beside the Grand Heritage, which will take place during the course of the day, is the jackpot, which begins in race number 5, and hopefully Alistair Cohen hits the bullseye. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gase.